what I want to do is make this video in a different way than I usually do. And I want for it to be more kind of real and behind the scenes. And I feel like probably the people who might get something out of this experience, I feel like the people who might get the most out of it or resonate with it are the people who are my closest friends. And what I mean by that, because we're all friends, but I would say people who have felt a deep resonance with me in specific, because, you know, I'm the one who puts videos out on the internet. If you've ever felt like a deep resonance or familiarity, not just you find the videos valuable and you like them, or sometimes you enjoy the specific series we might be doing at that time, but like people who, through all of that, feel a closeness with me for some reason. And I want to first say that I really appreciate that a lot. Believe it or not, actually, you are the reason why I continue because I feel that resonance too. Even though I might not see your face or hear what you're saying, in a certain way, I actually kind of can. And I know that that sounds a little weird, but I do feel you. And I've mentioned this before in other videos, like I feel you guys with me throughout my day. You know, when I'm hiking around, or when I'm, you know, being really present, or whatever it is I'm doing, I can feel you. And I know that we're here together. We really are, you know? And for me, my life feels, especially lately, I've been going through some interesting shifts I wanted to share and talk about and just be straightforward with, and also ask you how you're doing and if you're feeling some of these shifts. Maybe we can connect a little bit about this, because I feel some really big things going on in the field right now, especially lately. Huge, huge shifts. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about that in this conversation. But one of the things I've been really realizing is this inner shift in me, where I realize that we're walking this together. You know, we really are walking this together, this life, this path, this exploration of who we are, and discovering that for ourselves. It's kind of like each of us are here waking up and remembering who we are. And maybe for you, or for me, or for someone else, maybe that takes place in slightly different ways. Like maybe we wear, you know, different outfits, or we use, you know, different props, and we have different stories and archetypes of energy that play out in our lives. But I think at the core, we really are, every single one of us, we're the same. We're each experiencing ourselves unfolding and living our own unique path that really is, every step of it, remembering who we are. And even when we aren't remembering who we are, or we're walking on a part of our path that's a little bit harder, or a little bit more confusing, or maybe we're scared, or some hard things are happening, whatever it might be, some stormy weather, right? It's interesting because even those are the same essence of us remembering who we are, and we're just moving through, you know, new lessons, new reflections, new rememberings in new ways. And I guess the main thing is, for me, why I'm here and I'm making this video and having a conversation with you like this, is because, honestly, I think it's because I've been feeling really good lately. And when I say I've been feeling really good, I don't mean like I don't mean like I'm just like in absolute ecstasy and bliss and everything is like so high and awesome and everything's working perfectly for me. I've been feeling really good lately because I've been a lot more present consistently than usual. I wonder if you've been experiencing this for yourself. Just feeling more present. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything is always sunshine and rainbows. But there's a kind of appreciation I've been feeling more, and I wanted to talk to you about it, specifically you, because I feel you so much with me. And I know that we're walking this path together. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get to meet you in person. You know, I have met some people in person that are clearly that like soul tribe. You know what I mean? Like you gotta understand, and it's there's nothing wrong with anybody who doesn't fit into this criteria that I'm saying at all. I think there's obviously a lot of people that, you know, watch some videos and you know, brush through when the topics resonate, but underlying, some of us are our soul tribe. Like we remember each other, and I know when I'm making these videos, I'm speaking to you. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get to meet you particularly in person. I hope I do. If we ever cross paths, if you're ever in Mount Shasta and you see me, that would be really cool. And I've met a few people like this. And I really appreciate it a lot, to be honest. It's really fulfilling to be able to connect with people that might be in different parts of the world or they got different things going on, but there's something real in us that recognizes that realness in each other. Like the real in me recognizes the real in you. You know what I mean? Real recognizes real. Somebody said that to me before, and I liked that. So I'm making this video because I've been feeling a lot more appreciation lately, and I wanted to talk to you. And part of that appreciation is me wanting to be honest about some interesting shifts going on. I do feel like there are other people going through these shifts, and I hope that, you know, part of the essence of this helps you realize that you're not alone, because your existence has really helped me to know that I'm not alone and that we're in this together, and I really appreciate that. I do. And that's one of the shifts I want to talk about. There have been a lot of times in my life and throughout my journey where for some reason, it was just part of my story playing out, you know. For some reason, I guess you could say, I got really fixated and focused on, you know, more kind of negativity, or feeling the hardships of life to the point where I fixated on them. This has happened multiple times, you know, over the years, where it's like almost like my personality completely shifts. Almost like maybe some people watching might think like, maybe this guy has multiple personalities. I don't think that's the case. I think sometimes my focus has shifted, and I've decided unconsciously to feel really upset and worried and scared about my future, about relationships, about finances, and like the deepest fear of all, am I ever going to fully be who I really am? Am I ever going to allow myself to be my fully awakened self? Am I really going to have the freedom and the courage in me to just be unwaveringly authentic in all moments? And I think when I start fixating on those fears, anybody who does this, I feel like we kind of start to spiral into an expression of reality where the reflections we're getting are constantly reflecting back to us our fear. And in that fear state, whether we consciously realize it's kind of like our vibration at that time, or however you want to explain it, that's what we're giving off. And I've seen time and time again that you start reflecting things to yourself, or attracting things to yourself, or calling forth, or manifesting, whatever term you would use, that resemble your desperate clinging and your need for control. But you know, something's happening right now. And I know that you're feeling it. I know we all are, because we're all collective. We're in this together. And there's something going on behind the scenes right now. And I really feel like our old selves are in the process of dying, in a sense. And what that can sometimes look like is old aspects of ourselves, fears, limiting ideas or habits or beliefs, whatever. And they can kind of start kicking and screaming. They're like, ka-cha! They like kick and they scream and they fight and they try to pull you back into these fear states. And this is what I feel like our collective is going through. We're going through like a sort of like rebirth, like a phoenix moment, like rising from the ashes, right? The fire is burning away the things that aren't resonant of our true, authentic selves. And what happens when these parts of us are being lit on fire and they're being released and dissolved and let go, and we're transforming into like a more fully realized version of ourselves, so to speak, then these aspects of us, they can feel that they're dying, and it's like their desperate attempt to stay alive, right? As you are transcending your ego in these kind of ways, your ego wants to kick and scream and pull at you to get you back to letting it drive your life and be the boss, Like, but it's a futile attempt from these false parts of you that perhaps may have been real at some point in your story, in your authentic soul's path. It may have been real, likely was. But in this now moment, something else is happening. You're shifting. You're on a new step in your journey, right? Life is moving in a new direction for you. And it's not real anymore. It isn't. And it's futile for these false parts of you to kick and scream and try to fight. It's futile because they will never win against the presence of your true self, who, whether you are consciously aware of in this moment or not, is right here, right now, in this moment, with you, in you, is you. So these false aspects of us, this feels like a moment of a brief transmission in this conversation to remember that when we feel that stuff kicking and screaming, or fear or panic in us, we don't have to fight that panic. We don't have to try to push it down. We don't have to try to solve it, right? We don't have to try to do something to make that go away. We don't have to try to fix our state and shift our vibration. Because the fact of the matter is the part of us that does that tries to fix it, that tries to resolve it, that tries to change it, is the very part of you that's confused and thinks that it has power over you, and therefore you need to arm wrestle against it. And I'm telling you something that I know your true, authentic self knows. I'm just mirroring it back to you right now. Don't even bother fighting it. Don't even bother. It cannot win against the presence of your true self. And while you engage in the fight, you simply just drag out and make something last longer that needs not last that long. These parts of you are panicking because they are withering away in the presence of your true awakened self, who is becoming more here and now in this moment. I know you've been feeling it. I know you have been. We all have been. But that doesn't mean that every single one of us is going to look like everything in our lives is just perfectly exactly the way we want it to be. What it does look like is like everything right now in this moment is perfect in exactly the way it is designed to be, designed by you. Your true authentic self, not designed in your mind by what you want and the life you want to manifest, but the life that is truly authentically you. You see, because here's what's really going on. From the day you entered this planet, no matter what story you were playing out or what age you were or who you believed or what you thought about yourself, your true authentic self, your true essence was always right here, right now in this moment, calling forth to you everything perfectly in divine timing that was exactly your divine plan for your life. Yeah, you wanted those struggles. Yes, you did. Yes, you wanted some of those challenging relationships. Yes, you wanted those mountaintop moments where everything felt divinely perfect. Yes, you wanted those moments where you began to panic and wonder, why am I not still in that mountaintop moment? Why am I freaking out? And now I'm freaking out about my freaking out. And now I'm freaking out about the fact that I'm freaking out about my freaking out. It's all just your process, your perfect process of remembering who you are. And we don't need to be afraid anymore. This is like the biggest thing I really want to say. Like it's my soul song right now. It's just where I'm at. And I just can't help but feel like you are too, because we're soul tribe family. We don't need to be afraid of anything. There is not any moment that could bring forth any kind of situation or experience that we need to be triggered into fear because of. I'm telling you, and I know you know this, we don't need to be afraid anymore. Because we're at a point where our presence is realizing itself more and more, enough to this essential, critical shift, this pivotal moment in our journeys, where it's no longer about trying or fighting or needing to prove or act as if, or anything like this. It's a readiness ready to be recognized, to simply be. Be. Just be. Because everything is already unfolding for you. And the funny thing is that when we let go, and we just be who we are, here's the interesting thing. We stop trying to arm wrestle with the parts of us that kick and scream and worry and fear. And it's our very arm wrestling with those things that drags out this experience of a battle, this hero's journey of I'm conquering something, I'm against something, I'm trying to achieve something. You're in this arm wrestle. But when you let go and you just stop the arm wrestle, you stop fighting against what's going on within you, you stop fighting against what's going on outside of you, you stop fighting against anything, and you just be. You drop that need to win anything. A sort of spiritual surrender, you might say. That's a really cool moment, because you begin to recognize in your own presence how quickly everything begins working for you. It may appear to you that you are now, attracting all this amazing stuff to you, or all of a sudden you've unlocked like higher states of power. It may appear to you to be these sorts of things. And if that's part of your story to experience it that way and tell it that way, then by all means. What I think is interesting is the more present you are and the more you release those stories and that need to understand and define exactly this is what's happening and this is why things are working now and this is why they weren't working before, and you just let it go. That's really letting go of that arm wrestle. Drop it, you know? You begin to kind of recognize that pretty much all of the struggle in your life was really only your perceived struggle in your mind. You were perceiving a fight, and so you kept fighting, and so your life was a battle. You let go and you say, no need to fight. I'll just be, and I'll just let everything be the way it is. Suddenly, yeah, everything really starts resonating and magnetizing and working for you. And all these beautiful things begin to appear to be attracting towards you. But I'm telling you, they have been all along. They have been all along. Because your true, authentic essence, who you are, has always been here. Whether you knew who you were or were acting like someone you're not, it doesn't matter, because who you really are has been here right now in this moment, and reality has always been mirroring to you and drawing toward you. You're remembering who you are. In my opinion, that's one of the true essence points of this game called life. To expand love, yes. To experience your own story unfolding and believe you are this person, yes, that's a very cool opportunity to have in this dimension. But more than anything, that subtle moment of remembering, oh, here I am. Almost to forget who you are so that you can remember, because there's something really beautiful about that, this dance. Everything has always been being drawn towards you that is resonant of who you truly are. It's simply that we weren't noticing it and we weren't allowing it to happen because we kept saying to life, I'm too busy arm wrestling. I'm too busy fighting against something in myself. I'm too busy fighting and pushing against something outside of myself. See, we've been so busy resisting life, pushing against it, trying to shape it and form it in the way we think it should be. And so much of the spiritual movement that so many of us are drawn to and interested in is, how do we make life look the way we want? How do we change the reflection of the mirror? How do we make things appear the way we want them to appear? How do we attract the things we want? And this is the funny thing, truly. As we engage in these things, it's part of our story of remembering that we don't have to engage with those things because it's automatically already happening. So that's part of our story of remembering, getting to that point of finally letting go and releasing. But the fact is that when you engage in those things, can't you see that you're still arm wrestling life? You're still fighting, you're still trying to prove something. You're still trying to make something of yourself. But why would you need to make anything of yourself when you already are? What is there to prove? You see, in your presence of letting go and not needing to prove anything to anybody else, and by the way, the manifestation of you needing to prove yourself to others is really actually just an outward projection of your need to prove something to yourself. And once you realize you don't need to prove anything to yourself, you can just be. You can just live this moment, this exact day that you're on. You can let anything that's playing out, any of the noise around you, any of the noise within you, you can just let it happen without trying to fix it or shape it or direct it. You can just let go fully. You can do it. This is the best thing, because it's not something you have to do. It isn't something you do. It's literally the opposite. It's releasing that part of you that feels the need to do, that feels the need to sit here and turn something over in your mind. Just keep thinking about it like a dog chewing a bone. You're always, and I was always, and sometimes we will still find ourselves playing it out again because, again, these old parts of us are dying and they're fighting to stay alive. But let go. Because these false parts of you, they are the ones. These aspects of you that are not the real you, they are not actually who you are. This is the falseness that is falling away in our lives right now. This is the shift that is happening. These are the parts of you that think that there's still a reason to fight and try and prove. That's what they're saying in you. Let's fight. Let's prove. Let's enter survival mode again. And if you engage with them and you try to silence them and make them go away, that's literally you agreeing, yes, there is something still to fight. I'm going to fight the parts of me that are trying to fight. Do you see this? Fight nothing. Fight nothing. No noise, no storm, no weather. Within or without, above or below. That's the funniest thing about winning. When you try to win, you're playing a game that's a lot like tic-tac-toe. There is no winner. If you've ever seen that movie from the 80s, it's called War Games. It's with the guy who plays Ferris Bueller. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name right now. But I like the message in that movie. It's very simple, entertaining movie. You can watch it. I think it's free on Amazon or something. But it's like tic-tac-toe. It's unwinnable unless you're playing with a 2-year-old who doesn't understand the way the game works. You can't win. It's an unwinnable game. And in war games, they're like having like nuke battle simulations, and the simulations just keep showing no matter who launches the nuke first or second or third or fourth or fifth, no one wins. It's mutual destruction. There is no winner. And that is the essence of the spiritual battle in our lives. There is no winner when you perceive it like a battle, when you see it as something to overcome, something to fight, something to change, something to prove. There's no winner. It's basically tic-tac-toe. The only way to win is not to play. The only way to win is not to play. What a conundrum. What a beautiful paradox. The only way to win is not to play. So let these things play out in you and around you, and don't play. You witness, you observe. That's what so many of these teachings have been trying to help us to realize. But when we perceive it as something in me is bothering me, so I'm going to enter the state of the witness and observer so that what is bothering within me stops bothering me, that's you playing. That's you trying to overcome. That's you trying to conquer. In other words, it's very simple. If something's bothering me, don't try to fix what's bothering you. You simply just let yourself be bothered. Don't play. And when you don't play, you win, because the true essence of your spiritual being, your infinite nature, who you really are, I'm telling you, the false will never win in the presence of the true. And you are what is true. You have always been. And our entire journey of trying to find ourselves is literally like that comical moment where somebody walks downstairs. Has anyone seen my glasses? I can't find my glasses. And they're wearing their glasses on their face, but they just don't realize. It's funny, right? That's literally us. That's literally this dimension of reality. Where am I? Where am I? Oh, right, I'm the one looking. So enjoy your journey. Let it play out. And if you find yourself still in a position of feeling frustrated, like if you are still struggling to not engage and fight and arm wrestle these things that are going on, then let yourself arm wrestle them. Don't try to arm wrestle yourself out of arm wrestling. That's the joke. That's the joke. It turns out that every step of our journey, wherever we've been, no matter what's been happening, it's always been perfect. It's just you unfolding, you remembering, becoming what you've always been, releasing the things that aren't. Not about learning anything new, just remembering what we already know. So enjoy, this summer. There's an extraordinary power to it. And there is something happening in the collective right now. I'm telling you, I'm very sensitive to these things, and I really feel that you are too. Something's happening beyond the veil, an energy pulse rippling out through the dimensions, being expressed through each of us. And you may feel that as totally ecstatic bliss and, oh, I'm so awake right now. Or you might similarly feel it as panic and fear. And why is this part of me coming up that is so uncomfortable? It's the same thing. We're remembering. How does your remembering take place? How does your path unfold? What is the way your story expresses itself? That's your path. Live it. There's no way not to. It's really just, are you allowing yourself to live your life, or are you resisting and rejecting every day that you live? Weird, right? Now, I got to be honest with you. I thought this video was going to be me telling you certain things that have been going on in my life, but it turned into something else. And I'm just going to let it be what it is, because it is what it is. What happened, happened. And what happens, happens. Let it roll, Let it roll. Things are good, though. Before making this video, I was walking around naked in the nature over there. Went skinny dipping in the river. Listening. And wanting to share the special gift of being alive with you. So thanks. I do appreciate you very much. And I look forward to seeing you in a future video. If you find yourself there, I'll be there too. So, thanks. Much love to you. Sending good vibes your way always. Talk to you later.